All right. All right, Tim. Good evening, everyone, and
What's up,
welcome
y'all?
to Let's Talk Trauma with Coach Tammy. Okay, like anytime when you're doing something that is going to bring attention to something, you're going to always have something fight against you.
Right.
But we are live and ready to go. I am Coach Tammy, and this is my guest, my brother, Tim Prince. And Tim, introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, people? It's your man TP, aka the Silverback. You know, Raleigh, entrepreneur, Team Truth 919, Catch the Kite, nonprofits right here, operating, trying to change the mindset of our people, man. That's it.
All right, all right. So tonight we'll be discussing, and Tim, I want to first thank you. Thank you so much
Thank you for
for actually coming and being a part of this and wanting to have this discussion.
and I was early too. Make
Oh,
sure you say that.
and
I
he was
was
early.
early.
Yes, he was. He was early. He was anxious. You know, if anybody knows my brother Tim, knows he is not on time for anything.
Everything.
Yes. So, but he was actually 30 minutes early. So I just want to thank you because this is a topic that no one wants to talk about. You know, we don't want to talk trauma bad enough, don't want to talk about trauma, right? Don't want to say I have an issue, you know, this is why I act this way, this is why certain things happen. But talking about trauma and black men,
Right, right.
how serious is it?
Very serious. Now, before we get started, let me say this.
Yeah.
I want to say how proud I am of you. Okay?
Thank you.
How very, very proud I am of you. Because this ain't the first time. I mean, I've seen the struggles, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen the correction also. Let me say that as well. You know what I'm saying? You've done a great job raising these girls. You know what I'm saying? Now on to the grandkids. You know what I'm saying? To God be the glory. You know what I'm saying? The journal popping. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go out and look at a journal on Amazon. How do you get that on Amazon? They do.
Just go into Amazon, type my name, Tammy Jackson, and it pops up there. It's a 30-day inspirational prayer journal. And I don't have any more on hand now, but I will have some next Wednesday. So if you want an autograph copy, just hit me up and I'll be more than Oh, and your secretary said thanks to her too. You're right, Keith. Thank you, boo.
Yeah, you stayed on my tail. My secretary, Kelly Wiggins, you know what I'm saying? She stayed on me, you know what I'm saying? So thank you, Kelly. We love you, baby.
Yes, baby. Yes. So Tim, how hard is it for black men to even admit that they have trauma or experience trauma?
That's like pulling a needle out of a haystack. You know what I'm saying? It's such a thing, such a worldly way that men are supposed to keep everything in. You're supposed to be a man. Man ain't supposed to cry.
Right.
How can you tell a man that he's not supposed to do an emotional feeling that is meant to relieve stress?
Right.
Do you know what crying is? Right. It is to relieve stress.
Exactly.
And so now you're going to tell somebody, oh, you're not supposed to do that. A man's not supposed to cry.
Right.
Come on.
That shows signs of weakness if it's a man.
Okay. Yeah, you're weak if
you're weak. Yeah, right.
What? Why do you think I get upset and I'm ready to bust somebody in the head? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I don't have a release. I mean, if you don't have a hobby, you know what I'm saying, or you don't do something that you love, what are you gonna do? Right. What do they say? Pressure bust pipes.
Exactly.
Right? Pressure bust pipes.
Right.
So when you get all that pressure built up inside of you, what's gonna happen?
You're gonna explode.
Boom. You know what I mean?
And then when you explode, it might not even be the person that actually did anything
to you.
Right. It'd be an innocent bystander.
That's facts.
And you know what that is called? Then you are actually projecting that trauma onto them.
Onto somebody else.
Because trauma, and what I learned about trauma is trauma can be big or small.
Facts.
You know, it could be a small incident that can affect a person because I don't like to be yelled at.
Okay.
I don't like to be yelled at because that sends off a trigger. Not that, my mom, I can't never recall being raised with my mom and yelling at me, but I don't know. I still to this day, I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
That if you raise your voice at me, I cringe and I'm like, I get on the defense. Like, we're about to have a problem.
Right.
So when that happens, and that's a small thing to some people. So it's all types of trauma.
That's right.
And we have to be careful how we handle people or even handle ourselves.
Absolutely. Now let's put this out there too before we get into
Okay. Yes.
This is a no sugar-coated conversation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, and first of all, I ain't no doctor, I ain't no preacher, no bishop, or nothing like that. You feel me? Only thing I can talk about is me and what I've experienced.
Right.
The people that I've experienced, you know what I'm saying? In my mentoring, you know what I'm saying? In my life or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So don't, look at this and say, oh, they think they know everything. No. We just trying to open conversations. And while y'all up here, please ask questions.
Yes.
If you have a question, if you don't agree with something we said, say it on here so we can address it.
Right.
It's time for us to stop sugarcoating stuff. Because this is the thing. While we sitting here and living this worldly life and going by what the world wants us to do, there's people that are losing their lives, okay?
Right.
There are people that are doing things that they shouldn't even be doing. And it's just because they didn't want to have a conversation.
Right.
Okay?
We have people taking their lives.
Absolutely.
We have people taking their lives because they don't know where to even begin the conversation.
Absolutely.
And like Tim said, that is my disclaimer, and thank you for that. I am not a certified therapist or psychiatrist. I'm a life coach. And again, I can only speak on my life experiences and the people that I have come across, the people that I have coached, my personal experiences, and people that I mentor, young and old. So yeah, we're not, don't look at us and say, hey, like Tim said, oh, they know everything, or I'm gonna hit them up because they got a degree. I don't have a degree. All I got is a certification.
Okay.
So yeah.
What I got.
You certified by God, or you certified by God. Yes. So yeah, so Tim, being a Black male, let's talk about, if you have, because I mean, like I said, I've been knowing you pretty much all my life. I've been since about 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of trauma have you experienced that you're not ashamed, that you're willing to talk about?
Well, like I just said, I can only really speak for me and speak for the people that I have encountered.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of things that men don't like to talk about, let me say this. When a man has a problem, right? Man has a problem, there's not a lot of backbone behind him. Okay? So now, like for a woman, if y'all have an issue, you got the support.
Yeah, the circle.
You call your girls, y'all all come over, you in your pajamas, you got ice cream, you got whatever. You feel what I'm
ladies,
saying?
he's coming for us.
And yeah, for real. This
Hey,
is the thing. You said we're gonna talk.
Right, yeah,
you feel me? Right. So with men, if we have an issue, our issues is gonna be inside, but we try to, get it out by doing unnecessary things sometimes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Unnecessary things sometimes. Yo, man, let's go out tonight. Blah, blah, blah. Depending where my mindset is, you know what I mean? Something wrong, bad could happen and make even worse what I'm going through already.
Right.
So it just depends on the mindset.
Right.
The mindset of a man. So, that's one thing that we gotta understand. Men need support systems as well.
Right.
Okay.
So when you say that, because it's so true, women we have that support system, but sometimes our support systems get broken because of trust issues.
Okay.
Because we have been transparent and we share, thinking we're sharing with friends, and then it gets told. So then we shut down. And we'll go and suffer in silence. We'll get in a cocoon and suffer from silence because I can't trust that person anymore. But for men, like you said, y'all don't have a village or a circle. So So you saying it's not easy for a man
It's-
to go
it's
to
not.
his bro man,
Right.
you know, his homeboy, and say, "Look, man, I'm struggling."
Right.
Because of the
Right.
judgment? Is it because of the
This is the
judgment?
thing. Men do not want to give other men ammunition to shoot at them.
Mm,
You feel what I'm
okay.
saying?
Okay.
They don't want to show any sign of weakness. You feel what I'm saying? So like, man, y'all seen Tim? He was up there crying, blah 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 blah. Oh, now Tim a punk. You know what I'm saying? Tim weak.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff like that.
Right.
You know. Now, what's a beautiful thing is if you have a friend and you can come, bro, listen, I ain't feeling it today. I need to talk. I
Mhm.
need to get something off my chest.
Mhm.
That's what you should have around you.
Right.
Okay? It's the certain when they talk about the circle that you keep,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? The
Most
circle that you
definitely.
keep. If you don't have somebody in your circle that you can release to,
Mhm.
you need to check your circle.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you need to check your circle. And now this is, let's talk about from being young with it, you know what I'm saying, then growing up with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a learning process in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a learning process in there. You know,
Yes.
back in the day, you got all your boys, we together, we're going to party, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And you thinking being around a group of people like that is the mess, is what
Right.
to do. But when you getting older, the crowd that you keep, you know what I'm saying, is
Definitely.
detrimental to your health.
Mhm.
It is very detrimental to your health, the crowd that you keep.
Right.
And if you got to keep stuff inside and you can't speak and tell how you feel, what you got these people around you for?
Right. So we have a comment from Steph.
Okay.
Steph
Oh,
said,
Lord,
Steph
what up,
said,
Steph?
men are taught as little boys not to cry
Mhm.
and show emotions. When they
Mhm.
become adults, as women, we are asking them for the very thing that they were taught not to do.
Mhm.
And that's so
That's
true.
facts, Steph.
That's so true.
That's facts. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all were taught not to show emotion. So
Right.
when we don't see the emotion or feel the emotion, we get angry. We get mad. And again, we inflicting trauma on you all. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not trying to understand
Facts.
and trying to kind of be like, okay, let's talk about it, you know, and share. Because on the flip side of that, also, when we show too much emotion to y'all, it's like, come on, man.
Now,
why you gotta be so sensitive?
Since you went there,
let's
right?
talk about it.
So this is one of my sayings. All right, relationships are to be built,
right?
Not mimicked. Okay.
Absolutely.
Relationships are to be built, not mimicked.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is the thing. So you see your girlfriend and her boyfriend, and that's a view of a relationship that you want. So then you come to me and you're like, well, I want to do this. I like this. Blah, 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 blah. How can we be them when they are not us?
Exactly.
I don't like the things that they like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why are you making me do something that I don't like to do?
Exactly.
Okay. And so now that goes to say this. Communication has killed more relationships than guns that will ever kill people. Okay? Communication is the key in the beginning of the relationship.
So now since you said that, let's talk about it. Communication with Black men.
Okay.
It's hard. It's very hard for a woman to get a man to open up to her.
Very much so.
You know, and this woman could be a passionate, loving, caring woman and want nothing but the best for her man, and she's trying to do all that, but how can she break that wall to get him to open? Because some men just want, this is how I was raised. This is how I do things. And men, men, they feel like if I'm providing, that's my affection.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah. I've been there.
So yes, let's talk about it.
I mean, it's so many different scenarios that can go with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like you said about that, like someone speak for me. I pay all the bills. You don't got to worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? A man takes that as, Yeah, I'm the king, and I need to be treated as a king.
Right,
You know
I'm
what
taking care of you.
Right. I
Right.
need to be treated as that. That's how I used to think. That's how I used to think. Okay, but in a relationship, and that you love someone, you know what I'm saying? You have to bow down a little bit. Okay,
Right.
you have to bow down. It's equally being equally yoked. Yo, understanding that, yo, I might feel this way, but you feel a different way.
Right.
Let's communicate about it.
Yeah.
Let's not let it us bump
Right.
heads with it. Let's communicate about it.
That's coming back to learning your spouse's or your mate love language.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Now I meant to write this down. I meant to write this down. Like I said, I've been so damn busy. But
That's
now
all right.
I hate that in a way. Okay,
Why?
I hate it in a way only because it's going like, okay, this is your love language. Okay, so I like attention or whatever. The other love languages. So you're saying you don't want that as well? You just, my love language is this. So you don't want the other affections and everything too. So I don't like to say that this is my love language. This is what I got to have.
Right.
No,
Because you
this
have a-
is my priority love
This is
language.
the dominant. This is
Bam,
my dominant
bam,
love. Right. Because I see what
bam.
you're saying. Because for me, when I read the book, The Five Love Languages, I was like, wait a minute, I like all of that.
Bam.
You know what I'm
My
saying?
point exactly.
I like
That's
all of
tearing
that.
somebody's mind up.
Right.
Okay, so I only do this. When you do this, that's not love you showing.
Right.
You see what I'm
Because
saying?
on some days, I'm a very affectionate person. I love the
Bam.
hug. I love the hug.
Bam.
I love the cuddle. But then on some days,
Right.
don't touch me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You can sit over there. I sit over here, and we good. We ain't
Right.
got to talk to each other. You know, so I get that. I really do.
Yeah.
I get that.
I'm just saying it's just making people focus on the wrong thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That this is my love language. But so what about the other ones? You don't want the touch, or you don't, I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, babe. That's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing with the love language thing.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tangi
babe.
said people are scared to have conversations,
Mhm.
which they are.
Mhm.
Yeah. Steph said, don't try to break it. His action says it all. It says it all and not his words.
Right.
I can agree with that, Steph, but sometimes the actions really don't line up to me. And I say that because I've been in relationships where all I seen was his actions was spending money.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And to me, you trying to buy me in my mind, because I didn't Tim, come on now. You know, we used to be out there.
Right.
So I know some minds the man think if I'm just spending money on you, if I'm just buying you everything and giving you everything, you good. And I had to break it down to this man. I was like, hey, I don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I love all of you. I love it. I love that my bills are paid. I love all of that. But when are we gonna spend time?
Now.
You know what I'm saying? When are we going to, do things? And I'm not the type to harass or clingy, but I'm like, it's been months and we ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of balance out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But see, now this is the point when we were talking about the communication thing, okay?
Right.
So now, you can communicate more than just speaking. Like you said, the actions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So two things. So now if we dating, we starting off dating, and I'm trying to show you that I got it, you know what I'm saying? Get it. Because you showing is that your angle? What am I expecting you to want?
Right.
What am I expecting you to want? I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to buy you this, I'm trying to buy you that. Yo, I'm setting the tone for the beginning of the relationship. Right there.
Right.
Okay? So now let's flip it. That's the man. So on the woman, yo, if you dressing provocative or whatever, and you trying to come on to me and you trying to give me something all the time, that's what I'm going to be expecting.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
So that goes to the beginning of the relationship. Setting the tone of the relationship it's got to be more, folks. It's got to be more than just, damn, I like him. You know what I'm saying? He cute, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm like, damn, she got a big butt. You know what I'm saying?
But
it's got to be more than
that goes
that.
back to getting to know each other, spending time. You know what I'm saying? you have to have those conversations, and for me, I'm not really a telephone person, but if you can pique my interest by talking to me on the telephone, if you can get me to talk to you on the telephone and we have conversations and then and the same conversations we can have in person,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can barely get me on the phone. So I'm just saying, if you get me to talk on the phone, well, you might be on to something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not saying that's you know what I'm saying, that's a deal breaker, but I'm just saying that the conversation, for me, the conversation has to match. I like to have intelligent conversations. I like to have silly conversations.
And
I like to have,
about.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
we can talk about the news. Talk about the weather, we can talk, we can do
That's
all of those types of conversations.
So, see, with that being said, so I was having a conversation with my man Travion, right? And we was talking about relationships and stuff like that, right? And he said that he was talking to this man, and he was of a different race, okay? And he said, Travion, black men, okay, will trace the bloodline of their dogs before they trace the bloodline of a woman they're interested in. I said, oh my God. So basically what he's saying is, when we start a relationship, we in it for the looks. We ain't thought about your mind. We ain't thought about, is you crazy? Is your family crazy? Do you have issues? Okay. Do you like to spend money all the time? Do you like to save money? What's your values with kids?
Right.
We don't think about nothing like that.
Right.
We don't think about stuff like that. Do you understand what this man just said was so detrimental? I was like, that is so true. Men will trace the bloodline of a dog before they trace the bloodline of a woman.
That's deep.
That is so deep, babe.
That's deep.
I mean, that stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow. But it just goes to show you how we talking about trauma, where we missing a step in the beginning of the relationships, babe. Right. I got this phrase that I got from my pastor from my Bible study. It's called self-imposed nonsense. Self-imposed nonsense. What is that? Sin. S-I-N.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Self-imposed nonsense. And now that's another problem with trauma that we don't talk about, babe. The trauma that we bring on ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? On ourselves, babe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, so I got another saying. So your decisions decide your destination.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Absolutely.
From what you decide to do,
absolutely,
shows where you're going left or you're going right.
And that's the thing, Tim. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that fact because, and I'll say this, for trauma, people like to make excuses for it.
Oh God, that's where I was going.
People like to make excuses of why they can't do something or why they act a certain way, and it's really not an excuse. And I can say this for myself, because growing up with childhood trauma, me not knowing what I was really, the trauma that was that I didn't know it was trauma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Life. I just thought it was life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I grew up thinking, okay, my daddy didn't want me. You know what I'm saying? All right. Didn't know that the rejection that I was experiencing will cause me to go through life and do certain things and act a certain way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or have certain feelings about. Didn't know why I was so angry.
Okay.
Didn't know why I was so promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? Didn't know why I was doing all these things, but it goes back to my trauma. You know, but I never made an excuse for it. Okay. Once I realized what it was,
right.
Once I realized how it affected my life and how I, Tammy, inflicted my trauma onto my mom, my children, you know what I'm saying? And my siblings, my friends, relationships. I didn't sit here and play, the victim.
Right.
I mean, I was the victim, but I'm not the victim. Do you see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm not what happened to me.
Right. Right.
And that's what people need to understand. Because it happened to you, you didn't cause it.
Thanks.
And
That's
you're not what happened to you. You're not
That's
that.
That's
You don't
it.
have to become that.
That's it.
And that's why I really want to, start this, because a lot of people become their trauma.
That's it. That's it. And you know what I really hate, babe? Now, when things happen to us in this world, babe, we use it as a crutch.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
We use it as a crutch. Two things. So, like you just said, it's easier to blame you for action
Mhm.
instead of looking at myself
Absolutely.
to change. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you
Absolutely.
don't change, then I ain't got no excuse to change.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna blame you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So we gotta look at it like that. And
Mhm.
so then, what I really, really hate, since we're talking about with men, when there's not a man in the house, okay,
Mhm.
it is looked so much down, frowned upon.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To the point where the child can use that as an excuse
Absolutely.
or a crutch. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't have my daddy in the house, or my mama didn't do this, or she didn't do that. So instead of looking at things so negative when they happen to you, you got to shift the atmosphere on it. You got to shift the atmosphere on it and be like, okay, my dad wasn't in the house, but I'm pretty sure you've seen positive people around you.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you got preachers, okay, you got the coaches,
You got teachers.
you got teachers, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you saw somebody that was positive around you, but your decisions determine your direction.
Right.
It's easier to see pimps or the drug dealers or this people that's up to no good.
Right.
It's easier to get to them, okay? Because you're just so used to seeing that around you, or that's what's popular, or that's what's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Or it's easy.
It's easy. Okay, so now it's like this. So they said faith without what?
Works is dead.
It's dead, right? So now I'm not knocking no woman for this, okay? I'm not knocking no woman for this. I just want you to open your eyes and think just a little bit more, okay? So if there's not a man or a positive role model in the house, you gotta stop and say, okay, what do I need to do to get my son around something positive? Okay? And put your mother effing foot down to get it done. Okay? To get it done. All right. So let me tell y'all this story right quick. So me, Ty, and Scotty do mentoring, and we in Knightdale High School. So we had a kid, and he missed like 40 some days out of the first semester.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Out of the first semester, right?
That's almost the whole semester.
Okay. So she calls, reaches out to us and stuff, you know what I mean? So we go talk to him and everything, we figured out it's the dad issue. You know what I'm saying?
I call it a dad fracture.
Right. You feel what I'm saying? But also, the mom was like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I call the school, they don't do nothing. They don't tell me when he this, they don't tell me you're not doing this homework. So we like, all right. So we reach out to the school, to the principal. And they're like, you know what? Why don't we come in and let's have a sit down? The kid is a very good kid. You feel me?
Right.
And he see the potential in him. He see the potential in him, but he's like, trying to figure out what's going on. So the mom is just down to every teacher there, every principal. So we get in the room with the principal and the social worker and some of the teachers, and she started going off. Y'all efforts ain't doing this. You're not doing that. You're not going by this. You're not doing that. So one of the social worker just goes to the computer and was like, okay, we emailed you this day, we called you on this day, we came by the house this day, we sent a letter this day. I was like, yo, you got us in here looking stupid, and it's you. You know what I'm saying? And it's you. Okay. So we talked to the principal and everything. The principal says, you know what, we're gonna give him a chance. So you can we're gonna get his work situated for him. Y'all come by and get it tomorrow. Come by and get it tomorrow. If you can have it in by this so and so date, we'll honor everything. We'll let him go, get him going. So we like big. Okay. So Tom makes the plan. He's like, look, we're gonna go. We're gonna go pick up the homework, the work tomorrow. Pick up the work tomorrow, and then we're gonna come over tomorrow, which was Saturday. And she was like, I don't know about all that. And he was like, yo, what are you talking about? We gonna take our time out to come help with the homework, and you have to help us. Oh, well, I gotta get my hair and nails done. I was like, oh wow. So sometimes kids ain't problem.
And you know what? I was just having the same conversation this morning with one of the mothers of my church, Miss Ella Perry, and we were talking about Southeast Raleigh, and the high school, and she was telling me how we're just talking about how, you know, the school is being frowned upon now because of the instances and all these things that went on over there, the death and all that. And we shouldn't be, people shouldn't be, parents especially, shouldn't be frowning upon the school. It's not really the school's fault, you know what I'm saying? Some other things could have been taken, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know what I'm saying? But it all happens through conversations. You know what I'm saying? It all happens through conversation and the communication. Because again, the teachers are not there to raise our kids. Okay. And I say that from I have three of my grandchildren in the school system now. They're not to raise my grandkids. The responsibility falls on their moms and myself and my family when they come home. What we instilling in them at home, what the time that we're spending with them to do their homework, to do the reading, to do all that. You know, I have my grandkids in a tutoring program at my church. You know, two nights a week. You know, it's our responsibility to take up this. You know what I'm saying? It's not, the teachers can do but so much. Okay, and then if they call you for a meeting, go to the meeting.
Respond.
You know what I'm saying? Something. But you can't sit here and put all the responsibility on the teacher, and then because it's still again, and I don't blame no parent, no household, no nothing for anything, but we have to learn how to have communication with our own children.
Absolutely, babe.
We got to learn how to sit down, and Tangy just said it, they got too many electronic devices.
That's true.
We got to learn how to take these things away from them.
That's true.
And have, because you know, I know growing up, we didn't have cell phone. We had people.
No, we did have a bag phone for it.
But we started out with pages. We started out with pages, you know, going to the payphone. But it wasn't like when we came in to sit down and eat dinner, we didn't have all this stuff at the kitchen table. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Laptops and stuff like that. You know, so communication is big, and you're right, you know, the absence of a father, and I can speak because I didn't have my father. Let me just say this. I had my father, but didn't have my father. Let me just say that. Okay. My mom and dad were not married, but every weekend, the summertime, you know, my grandmother made it her business to pick me up. I spent time with them. My dad lived with my grandmother, but my daddy actually did not acknowledge me, Tim. Did not say a word to me. I didn't even know if the man knew my name. Okay, I'm just being honest, because he would come in the house and walk right by me. I'll be sitting on the floor playing. He would come in and walk right like I was invisible. This went on 16 years of my life. Okay, so just imagine growing up and being, so that effect, or just not having a dad at all, can affect the child. But that's still not a reason to be the victim.
Right. Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I know we bouncing around a lot, but this
This is conversation.
We just
Yes.
talking. Now, with that being said, babe, so like I said, we talking about us, right? Talking about me.
Right.
So one thing that I hate, and me and Ty been talking about this, yo, everybody looks at a two-parent household as it's so great.
Mhm.
Okay. Now I thank God
Let's
for my
talk
mother
about
and father.
Yeah.
I thank God for my mother and my father.
Mhm.
Okay. But now, you know, my daddy was a preacher.
Absolutely.
He was a preacher.
Mhm.
And my mother was a private duty nurse.
Mhm.
Okay. So my father was there, but he won't there.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was always somewhere preaching.
Right.
Okay. So I was in at this church for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the points that really why I went to the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is because I was doing everything that was going to be against my father's way.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I say I say that to say this. You know, when they say that it was two parents in the house, yo, if your parents are not equally yoked, you getting it double.
Right.
You get it double than if I just had my mama there.
And that's a trauma.
Trauma.
That's a trauma.
And
people don't understand
they don't get that.
They don't get that. That's a trauma.
I hate when people say, "Oh, Jim, you had your dad, then you had your mom," and yo,
Right.
I cannot stand when I see people argue in front of their kids right now. Oh my God, it tears.
That's a trigger. Is that a trigger?
Yes, baby.
That's a trigger for you?
It tears my nerves up because I seen my parents go at it. You feel what I'm saying? With me standing right there, like, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And like I said, I love my parents. My parents did everything in the world for me. You know what I mean? So, but that having the two parents in the house thing, like that's so.
Yeah.
That's BS.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. And that was, I'm glad you said that because a lot of people do look at having a parent, but two-parent households can inflict more trauma than a single-parent household.
That's it, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and again, we cannot dismiss trauma because trauma is trauma. You know what I'm saying? And it affects people in different ways. Like you said, for me, my trauma, I became an alcoholic. Nobody knew for years, Tim, I was an alcoholic. I was a functioning alcoholic. You hear me? I'm talking about function. I would take a couple of shots in the morning, go to work, come up. Nobody knew that. But I was fighting those demons. You know what I'm saying? I was really fighting those demons because I was mad, I was hurt. I felt unloved. I felt like I was not worthy because I didn't have the love of my father. So I became promiscuous. All that stuff. Nobody knows all that. You know what I'm saying? Even inflicted trauma on my children. Right. To this day, now I'm trying to fix that and work on our relationships. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? Right. So, but having a one parent, like you said, you did everything to devour. You took a different route. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna be the rebellious. I'm gonna do, and so what road did that lead you down?
Babe, let me tell you. Jesus. Thank you, God, is what I'm gonna say. That I'm here. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Thank you, God, that I'm here.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna start with. You know what I'm saying? Because I've experienced some stuff. I ain't supposed to be here, babe.
Me either.
I'm not supposed to be here. The stuff that everybody was telling you was so sweet, like that, like, yeah. I carry myself different, but the stuff that I have done,
right? I
am not supposed to be here. So in life they say, you're supposed to find your purpose, you gotta operate in your purpose. I know what my purpose is now, babe.
Right.
See, I come from my mama daddy won't broke. You feel what I'm saying? They had money. You know what I mean?
So you didn't have to go down that road.
I didn't have to.
You didn't have to.
No.
You made that choice.
You can call Dave, Puerto Rican Sean, Dot, all of them right now, and they will tell you.
I was there.
You were.
was
Look,
there.
so my mama told me when I graduated high school. Now you know we stayed. Patrick Dewberry stayed right here,
Right,
there
right.
behind the McDonald's, and I stayed right there on the corner, the party house.
Absolutely.
Okay, the party house. So I was enrolled at Shaw.
Mhm.
Okay, I was at home on the front porch with everybody more than I was at Shaw.
Right.
Okay, and Shaw was like rock throwing distance right there, right?
Mhm.
My mama told me she would buy me a brand new Lexus if I would just go to school. Okay, if I would just go to school, Tammy,
Just step foot on the ground.
just go to school.
Just
Act like I was going to school or something.
Mhm.
You feel me? I ain't do it because the streets was more fun than being out there. I mean, they used to have my house. It used to be 100 people at the darn house a day.
Yes,
You
sir.
feel me? Thank God my mom was the private duty nurse and was at work all the time. And my daddy was where? Out
Yeah.
preaching. House to myself. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
House to myself. You know, so that, I mean, you know, with that being said, you know, your decisions determine your direction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was what interested me, you know? And so, but saying that, God led me down that route, okay? Because right now, I can go talk to somebody on the street, or I can go sit in the boardroom with somebody.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I understand why God sent me down that route now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to operate in my purpose.
Right.
From
And that's the thing, because, and I say that as well, my lifestyle, I'm not supposed to be here because Tim, as you know, I ran with you all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna tell nothing on this Facebook Live. But, I'm in. Look, Patrick don't put the address. 121.
Patrick Dewberry.
Patrick don't put the address.
Yes, sir.
I'm not supposed to either be here or I'm supposed to be doing some serious fed time.
Baby,
Okay?
baby. I'm gonna let you finish.
Some serious fed time.
Let you finish.
But, and I'm telling y'all, you know, I ran with y'all deep. You know what I'm saying? And Sean can say, damn, you see, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I know people like, you know what some bodies at? I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. But I say that to say, I chose that lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My mom was a single mom of 6. Okay? I'm the baby. Yeah. I'm the baby of the family. I really, really didn't want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? My siblings took care of me. My aunt took care of me. I didn't want for nothing, but because I felt that missing link from my dad, you know, I ran with y'all, but I like older men. You know what I'm saying? Or I got with men that I thought was going to show me love by spending money, whatever, doing this, you know. But that took me down a road, Tim, where I almost didn't come back. You know, and I suffered, because I rebuke that now. I rebuke it. I suffered from depression for many, many years. Went to the point that I had 2 suicide attempts. Okay? All because of not feeling loved, unworthy, and the choices that I made, I was not happy. And I knew I was created for more, but I didn't know what. So I felt like I was just out there lost. And nobody knew the demons that I was fighting. So, with all that being said, after that, and after my aunt passed away, and I drunk myself. Really, I got so drunk, Tim. I had alcohol poisoning. You know what I'm saying? Could have left here from that. God showed me then it was purpose, and I needed to get myself together because it was other young girls out here suffering and needing someone to tell them it's okay. You know what I'm saying? That you don't have to be this way because you are loved. Regardless if you're receiving that love from your dad or anybody else, you don't have to look to a man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to you ain't got to lay down with I ain't gonna say it because on Facebook Live and I don't know if my first lady, but every time and you know, and you know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't lay down with him. You can't can't expose because guess what happens when you expose yourself to that? You're taking on all those demons and all those spirits that they have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you setting yourself up.
That's facts. That's facts. So, babe, so now with you saying that, when I'm saying that I know what my purpose is, you've seen the stuff that we was doing.
Absolutely.
You've seen the stuff that we was doing.
God is good.
So with that being said, babe, think about everybody. All of them went to prison. I never went. You can't tell me that won't God. You can't tell me that won't God. And I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now. Because God let me see all of that. Right. You know what I'm saying? He let me see all of that. So I can go talk to anybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? I never went to prison. I went to jail. I was in there for a day, and I ain't never seen no bars ever since then. Okay. You feel what I'm saying?
Sound about like
and but this is the thing. After the bars, I was still out there. Right. I was still, bro.
Sound like me,
Tim. That was God.
Tim, everybody, all of, except for you, all my brothers of what I call all of y'all that I'm home with, every one of the fellas that went away, they entrusted me to handle their business. Okay? So I'm out here and nobody knew. Only a few people knew that I was running a whole operation. Lord, if my mama was watching, she'd kill me. She'd kill me. I was running a whole operation.
Okay, so now
they showed me how to cook it, they showed me how to cut, they showed me how to do. Who told me, gave me a list. This who you sell to? Had it down pat. Right. We had called, they called me on the phone and give me mail. I'm like, I was doing it.
Right.
I'm supposed to be doing fan time because I would have got caught with any of that.
Babe, you know, and thank you, God. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm gonna be obedient to what you need for me to do because I know I'm not supposed to be here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm not supposed to be here. You know, but babe, so let's talk about this. Let's go back to the self-trauma. The trauma that we put on ourselves. Okay, so now I got this saying. So how can we heal from this world with worldly tactics when it was built on spiritual principles? Okay, how can you heal from this world when it was built? How can you heal from this world with worldly tactics when it was built on spiritual principles? Okay, so now this is the thing. A lot of people, when they think about Jesus, okay, and this is how I think, y'all, okay, when they think about Jesus, all right, when Jesus died on the cross, they just think that he died just for our sins to be forgiven. They don't think about free will.
Absolutely.
Okay, free will. They don't think about that. All right. Jesus died. So for us to make a decision, we can choose him or we can choose the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, or we can choose the world.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now when you choose him, okay, let me say it like this. And if I'm wrong, Patrick, correct me. Okay, so this is just my view. Okay, I don't believe when you die, you just go to heaven. Okay, I believe that when you die and you go to heaven, God honors your will that you chose his lifestyle, and your reward is to go to heaven. Okay, that's what I believe. Okay, also saying if I did not choose God's lifestyle, that I chose to go to where?
Hell.
Okay. All right. So we got to remember that our life, like I just said, our decisions determine our directions in life, period. And in life, period.
And Tim, I can kind of agree with you on that because we have free will. God has given us free will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the choice is ours.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we either decide we're going to follow Jesus, we're going to follow Christ, or we're going to do it our way. Okay? And what Tammy has learned, we're just going to tell you what Tammy has learned.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it Tammy way, that don't work.
It don't.
That don't work at all. That don't. And I'm not. And let me just sit here and say, I'm not all holy and sanctified yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
But you know the Lord.
I know
you
the
the
Lord.
word. That's it.
I'm working
That's
on
it.
it.
That's
And
it.
I have chose to follow
There
him.
you go.
You know, it took me all these years to really get to this point.
Okay.
But he had to keep showing me, okay, you know, and he'll sit back and watch us.
Oh, of course.
He will sit back.
Of course.
Because he's not going to force us to do absolutely
That
nothing.
whatsoever.
So that's what you want. I done told you what to do.
Right.
I know. Hey, so that's what you're gonna do? Okay.
Now, what? Help me out. Now, like I said, I know the word. I can't tell you it's at Jeremiah or whatever like that. But there's a part in the Bible that says why do we do the things that we do that's wrong? I think it's Paul. Patrick, help me out with that, man. I know. So why do we do what we know is wrong? Basically, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's our choice.
It's our choice.
Our decision. And so, you know, we think the Bible and all that stuff that happened 2,000 years ago or whatever don't apply to you now.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes, it does.
It does.
Oh, yes, it does. You know what I'm saying? And it's you. First of all, people forget that you got to have a personal relationship with God. Okay? The personal relationship with God. Now, like you just said, I ain't no pastor, I ain't no bishop, I ain't the most holy roller in the world, but I know the word. And the one thing that I am learning to do is study the word, but also apply the word.
Absolutely. My pastor says that every Sunday.
I know how to apply the word to my life. Because you can know everything. I got another saying. You know me and my sayings. They say knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely.
Knowledge is not power unless you apply it.
Unless you
don't apply, you just know.
Absolutely.
You just know.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, and people, I hate to say it, but we're going to talk, right? So, people know that they should trust in God and they should believe in God and they should do the things of God. But when it don't happen on their time, you know what I mean? When they don't happen on their time, God, I've been praying, I've been doing this, I've been paying my tithes, and this not happening.
But where in the Bible does it say it's gonna happen right then?
Thank you.
Because you asked for it, I'm gonna give it to you right then. No, it's a process.
It's a process.
It's a process. Because we always going to God, want God to do stuff for us. God, I need this. God, I want that. God, I need this. Mm-hmm. But what are we doing for God?
Come on, baby.
What are we doing for him? What are we showing him? Because like you said, it's a relationship.
It's a relationship, baby.
It's a relationship. You got to give in order to receive. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you always got your hand out to God.
Yep. Give me.
Just give me. But what are you giving to God? What are you doing for him?
And then, babe, you know, when they finally figure out, man, I've been doing wrong. Let me try this. Let me try this God thing. You know what I'm saying? And soon as something happens, oh man, I'm doing better. When I was doing it out in the streets, doing this. When I was home, when I was doing all this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, let me say this. Let me say this. I said it one time, right? I said it. I got so bad. I was like, you know what? I remember I ain't had no job. Okay. I remember I wasn't working. I wasn't doing, but I was living up there. I had a man taking care of me. He was paying my bills.
You was thinking you was living a good life.
I think I was doing I thought I had it going on.
Right.
But in all actuality, the man had about 3-4 women that he was taking care of. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That man won't come to me every night. You know what I'm saying?
And babe.
And that well ran dry, real.
Okay. So babe, and listen, so we think that stuff is supposed to change. Okay, I'm a Christian now. I'm saying I'm a believer, and so this ain't supposed to happen. That ain't supposed to happen. Heck no.
Let me tell you
When
something.
you become a believer, the S is about to hit the fan.
Get ready
You
for
got to, we gotta do a better job at telling people, yo, come to Christ. Yeah, come to Christ, but prepare.
Right.
Everything that you claiming about to be tested.
Right.
It's about to be tested.
And that's the
Let me
thing.
say this. So I was watching Joel Osteen about 5 or 6 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said something I ain't gonna never forget. He said, if you and the devil are not having a head-on collision daily, you and him going in the same direction. I will never forget that. I will, if you and the devil don't have a head-on collision daily, you and him going in the same direction.
Wow. That's deep.
Messed me
That's deep.
up.
Because that's the thing, and I said this the other day, and somebody called me after I said it, because I was on live, and they was like, they have been having the hardest time trusting and believing in God. He was gonna work. I said, well, let me just tell you this. I said, what I've learned. I said, and it worked for me. I can only tell you what works for Tammy. I said, it says in the Bible. It's plain as day we're gonna have trials.
That's it.
We're gonna face trials.
That's it.
We're gonna face tribulations.
That's it.
Now that's the word.
That's the word, baby. That's the word.
But it's
That's
how
the word.
we hold on to God's hand.
Okay.
As the old folks used to say, holding on to God's unchanging hand.
Changing
I never understood.
Changing hands, baby.
But if we continue to hold on to his hand and don't let go, it makes it so much easier to go through.
Yes.
It really is fulfilling to walk with God and to hold on and just to know, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, and then what's the scripture? Oh God.
Paraphrase it, baby.
I'm thinking. I know this scripture.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just because we don't see it, don't mean it's not going to happen.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
We have to have faith.
Faith, baby.
To believe it's going to know it's going to happen.
By faith, not by sight.
That's it, right there. Walk by faith and not by sight. Because if we look at things that's in front of us, this world, we be screwed up.
Yes.
We be absolutely screwed up if we're looking at the things that we're facing in front of us. But if we know and I do this all, I tell people, I remind God of his promises to me.
There it is. You stand on.
I remind God that even when I'm going, especially when I'm going through, God, you said.
Think about the trauma that you just said. You know, back in the day, I was taught that you don't question God. You don't question God.
I was too.
You leading me down the road.
Well, how is he gonna answer? How is he gonna answer if you don't question?
If you don't question,
how is he going? That was that teaching of religion. That was the teaching of the relationship. That was the teaching of religion. Okay? That was the teaching of religion, because you got to have a relationship like just like anybody else. If I can come and question you, I can go question God.
That's right.
Because God, you promised. You said this your word. You need for me to find it, Lord, so I can show right to show you where you
remind you.
Right.
Yes, baby.
So that's that relationship. That's just like me coming to well, Tim, you said.
Right.
Because if you would have shown it tonight, I was gonna call you and say, Tim, you said. Right. So that's that relationship.
That's it, baby.
That's that teaching, that old teaching. That religion, everybody has to be religious.
Right.
No.
Right. And then another thing that bothers me, babe, and I know it causes so much trauma. When people listen to a strong prayer, okay, somebody praying up a storm, they say, oh man, I can't pray like that. And won't pray.
And won't pray. And you know what, Tim? I work with my babies at the church. I work with the youth. And I talk to the youth all the time. We talk about prayer, we talk about fasting, we talk about all these things of building a relationship with God. Okay, the things that we must do, that we have to do to build that relationship with God. And someone said, well, Miss Tammy, I don't know how to pray. I don't even know what to pray for. And I tell them, I said, you know what the simplest prayer is? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I said, and I never understood my grandma. I used to watch my grandma. Now watching my mama,
Mhm.
how they would just sit back and rock back and forth.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
My grandma used to hum. That was her prayer.
That was it.
That was her prayer.
That was her connection with God.
Okay?
Yes.
So you have to find what works for you. You don't have to be, oh, and holy God, and da-da-da-da. You ain't got to be all
What
like
did
that.
I say earlier? Relationships are to be built,
Right.
not mimicked.
Right.
You don't tear yourself up
Right.
trying to be something. God is not going to bless who you trying to be. He's going to bless who he made you to be.
Exactly.
You know
And
what
like
I'm saying?
my pastor say all the time, you know, he's from Georgia. He said, I know how to hoop. You know what I'm saying? He said, I know how to hoop, but I can hoop when you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I'm not that type of pastor.
That's it.
You know? And that's the thing, you know, you get all these ministers, and I'm not nothing against nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody. Your preaching style is your preaching style. Because I'm not, God ain't called me to be no, you know. But I have seen, and you like you said, he takes laughs and jokes about he's go on YouTube and learn how to hoop. You know what I'm saying? They teach you how to hoop, how to speak in tongues, how to shout. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So yeah, you have to be you
That's it,
and walk
man.
in the call that God has called you to be. And that's why I'm unapologetic of who I am
There it is.
right now. You know, I have, like I said, I have caused and inflict trauma.
Mhm.
And I went back and apologized to make amends
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
at that time I didn't know.
Mhm.
But now that I know,
Mhm.
I can apologize.
Mhm.
I can't change the past.
Can't.
I can apologize and let's move forward
Right.
and try to make it better and
Right.
make the best out of a bad situation.
But see, and that's the thing that we gotta understand too, babe, is God knew that we was gonna mess up.
Absolutely.
Okay? He knew that. Okay. Train up a child in the way he should go.
And he will never.
And when he says when he gets older, when he gets older, he will never depart from it.
Absolutely.
Babe, if you pay attention, he was saying, okay, he gonna tear up once you change him, once you keep teaching him and put it in his head, he gonna test it.
As the old folks said, once start smelling that mud.
Right, right. You feel me? He gonna tear up,
Right.
but you gotta instill it in him, and hopefully it'll come to him in time.
Jeremiah 29:11.
Okay.
I knew you.
Okay. Good God, girl. What you say?
Before I
formed you. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I knew the head.
I knew you before I formed your mother's
That's
womb.
right. That's right.
I had plans for you
That's
to
right.
prosper
That's
you,
right.
not to harm
Not
you.
to harm.
Okay,
That's
so yes,
That's
that's it.
That's right.
That's it.
And then we gotta think about this, how I was saying about the sin, the self-imposed nonsense. So you loan somebody some money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You loan somebody some money, and they say, I'm gonna pay you back on the 3rd. And it's now the 4th or the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
You about to lose your damn mind because they did not pay you your money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
They pay your money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
You about to lose your mind, ready to do certain things. And we've known people who've done certain things to people because of money. You know what I'm saying? Because of it, right? Okay.
You won't get me on this line.
but this is my point I'm making. Yo, the word says you will be a lender
and not
a borrower, right? You will be a lender and not the borrower, right? Where does it say in the Bible that you was gonna get back what you lent out?
It didn't.
Where do it say that?
It didn't.
It doesn't, right? It doesn't.
But that goes to expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop. That's another way of inflicting trauma, self-inflicted trauma. Because we have expectations of people that are really sometimes non-existent. Okay. Because we can expect for a person, and I can say this for me because I have inflicted some self-trauma on myself because I've been expecting folks to be me and expect from them to treat me the way I treat them.
Okay.
But no, stop having so much expectations of people because people sometimes people don't have the capacity,
Okay, okay.
you know, to actually even phantom or think the way that you think or process stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So people may not have the capacity to do that.
That's fast.
So stop having setting these expectations, because you get disappointed in that.
Right.
And your feelings get hurt.
Get messed up. Now, this is the thing. So I was talking about expectation one day on a live, right? So this is the thing. You riding down the street, right? Somebody cut you off. You having a good day. Somebody cut you off. What you start doing? Losing it, right? Change your whole mood. You walking to the door. You walking in the store. You open the door for the person behind you. They look at you and walk in the store.
Right.
Pissed off.
And they know what it is.
Just like you said, you can't expect everybody to be like you. So you got to lower your expectations, but you got to raise your self-value,
right,
your self-worth.
Look,
you feel what I'm saying?
Nikki Jones said, we assume the person will do what we would do. And when you assume, well, you know the real. You know the real.
That's it. That's it.
Right.
So you got to raise your self-worth. Like you open the door for the person and they didn't say thank you or nothing or didn't acknowledge you. You got to tell yourself, you're telling you did a good job, man.
Right.
Make sure you keep doing that
for
somebody. Because you never know who you might help by doing that.
And you know what my grandmother said when we were growing up? My grandmother always told us this growing up, that she instilled that, and I try to instill that into my kids and my grandkids and anybody that asks. You never know. You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Thanks.
Okay? But you never know when you're entertaining an angel.
Never, baby.
You never so that you got to be careful how you treat people.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, how you talk, because you never know that same person that you might have cut off, or he cut you off, or the same that you done cussed out, or it might be the same person that turn around and help you. You might need help from that person. Yes. But Tim, I want to ask this question.
Yes.
So we're running up on time.
Yes.
We are 9 o'clock. Why is it, or how do I want to put this? What makes it so hard for Black men to seek help?
Sign of weakness.
To really go and sit down and talk to, and I'm talking about professional help at this point. Going to have a conversation, because I'll say this, not all men, but some men are quick to say they don't have a problem or they don't have an issue.
Absolutely.
So how can we get over that? You know what I'm saying? What can happen to help a brother? You know what I'm saying?
So, baby, this is the thing. So, we've been talking about the word for the last 10 minutes or so. So the word says we're supposed to confess our sins one to another.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I'm talking with people, the guys I mentor, the guys I talk with on a regular, whatever, I try to get them to understand that, it's cool to be able to say, hey man, I got some issues. I need help.
Right.
Why is it cool? Because that shows you care about yourself.
Absolutely.
You care about yourself and you care about the people around you. Okay? If you know you got issues, and that's another problem with, that's another show.
Larry said, because our pride and everything.
That's it. Like I said,
pride is everything.
Yeah, that's everything. It makes you seem like you're weak, but you're actually not. Remember, I was saying you got to shift things and think about stuff different.
Right.
When you
that mindset.
Exactly, babe. And see, people think that they're a product of their environment. You're not a product of your environment. You're a product of your mind.
Absolutely.
Your mind.
So let me tell you something. I tell anybody, and I'm proud of my hood. I love my hood. Okay. I love Walnut Terrace. But I tell people, because I've had people come to me, Tim, and tell me, "Oh, you act like you better than everybody else now," or you just forgot where you came from. I can never forget where I came from. But one thing for sure, two things for certain. I made Walnut Terrace Wanda Terrace didn't make me.
Okay.
Okay, that's my saying. That's my saying. I tell anybody that.
Okay.
Okay,
But see, and that's the
because I
thing,
was never
man.
a product of Wanda Terrace. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I lived there. I did not become of. I started out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But the whole time I was over there, Tim, I knew like this ain't me.
Right.
I was doing stuff to fit in.
Right.
I was doing stuff to be, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
to be liked, but that wasn't me.
That's right.
But when God was like, "Hey, it's time," and as the older I got, like, yeah, but I never wanted to
Now, I want to ask you this question. I asked you this question maybe about 2 years ago.
Oh
And
boy.
we said that we was going to talk about it.
Oh boy.
And today is the day.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now we might not be able to, get in depth with it.
Okay.
But this is maybe another one.
Okay.
But people can chime into this.
Okay.
Remember, I asked you if a woman knew her child was having issues, was being out of control, wayward, not listening, acting a monkey, getting in trouble. And the issue was because his father was not in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as the woman, and him had a personal vendetta that was going on, lack of communication or whatever, and you kept the child away from him as to punish him. Would you come out now? What would be your next move if your child said, "Well, my daddy was never around, blah blah blah," say this, and you knew you kept the father away from the child being spiteful or vindictive to him? Do you reach out to the father now? Do you sit down and have a conversation with the child and tell him why, or you take it to the grave?
I'm not taking it to the grave because I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to take it to the grave. Because, first of all, I have inflicted trauma on my child.
Okay.
I have deprived my child, thinking I'm protecting my child. Okay. But also my pride. Okay. I let my pride, and I'm just speaking because I would never withhold my child. Even when me and the daddies didn't get along, I would never withhold my children from their fathers. Okay.
Now, and I'm not saying now he was abusive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I ain't saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
So I would first have a conversation with my child.
Okay.
Before I reach out to the father.
Okay.
I will have a conversation with my child explaining, because what I have learned, Tim, is that when you hold a child against their parent, I've seen it, you can end up being a villain. The child can end up growing up to hate you and loving the other parent more than, you know what I'm saying?
They got to grow up and hear the other side.
They got to hear it. So I'd rather for it to come, the truth come from me and tell them, look, your mama was jacked up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I did it out of spite. You know what I'm saying? I was mad with him.
Okay.
Tell him the truth.
Okay.
The truth don't hurt nothing. It don't hurt nothing, because if you lie, you still inflicting trauma. Because the child will then go over here and have a conversation with the other parent. The other parent gonna make it seem like, then the child gonna be confused. There's another cycle right there. So trauma. I will sit down, be honest, as much as it hurt, and tell my child the truth.
That's something that we have to do as parents.
Absolutely.
Stop being a holy roller to your kids and tell them the dirt and the dumb stuff that you used to do, so in case if they run into it, my daddy told me about that.
And I tell you, my children, we have conversations, and my children growing up in the house with me didn't know that their mama was smoking weed every day. They didn't know.
On the back porch?
They didn't know. And I don't know how they didn't know, but they didn't know. But then when they learned about it, it was like, wow, we were right. Yeah. You know, but, and it was some things, like, with my oldest daughter, we talked about some things with her dad. and like I said, I never kept my kids, either one from their dads. But I told her when she got older, you know, I had to let you make some decisions on your own.
Right.
I let you, I never talk bad about their fathers to them. That's one thing I would not do. My mama taught me that. Never, even going with me and what happened with my dad, my mama never talked bad about my dad. And I go, man, you see what this man did to me? But I never did it to my kids, but I understood why.
Right.
I understood why, and
Right.
I thank my mom for that.
Right.
So I did my kids the same way. They're not perfect, but I had to let my kids see for themselves.
There you go.
And let them, once they got of age, to make their own
There you
decision
go.
of what they wanted to do.
There you go.
But you're gonna know your dad, you're gonna know your siblings if you got some. If you wanna go, I'm not gonna force you this one, I'm not gonna force you to go, but if you wanna go, go ahead.
Right.
You know, but that's the thing we have to do as parents. We cannot have that back into, because that's when the kids see that, Tim, that back and forth with the mom and the daddies and the arguing and this and that, or no, you can't come because now he done pissed me off and this and that.
What do you think that relationship is?
You inflicting trauma on
That's
that
it.
child.
What do you think they're gonna think?
And then when that child get older and
Right.
grow up and find out that daddy was cool as I don't know what, and like, oh my God, I done missed out. What you think that child, how you think that child will feel about you?
They see, I love this conversation. I love this. I love this. Yep, I love it, love it, love it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have to do a part two.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a part two.
Sis,
I'm gonna have to
I
bring
thank
it.
you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
I thank everybody.
Okay.
Tim, we had over 20 people watching us
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank y'all. Thank
So,
y'all.
thank
Glad
you
y'all
all.
for chiming in, you know. And listen, if y'all got questions about anything we talked about tonight, yo, put it in the chat joint. So on the next one, we can address it. You know
Right,
what I'm
and we
saying?
can definitely, you know, I'm gonna share the Tim page and have it on his page. So
Please.
any questions, you know, inbox. If you know somebody that's struggling with trauma or you struggling with trauma, you know, again, we're not certified therapists,
Right.
but we can offer some kind of advice to you.
Right.
And even help you find a therapist, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I believe in confidentiality, you know, I
Yeah.
believe, because I have to, because I'm a life coach,
Yeah.
for one thing, you know, I have to. So when somebody comes and brings something like that to me, I have to make sure I don't share it with nobody.
Right.
But it's nothing wrong, people, with seeking help. There's nothing wrong with getting a therapist. Okay,
Yeah,
I tell
nothing
you,
wrong with it.
I love my therapist. She told me if I stop,
Therapy is dope.
right? She told me if I stop canceling my appointments, she gonna cut me off.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And listen, yo, I was talking, you know, what I said earlier about the ladies, you know, that's, if you know you don't have the male figure in the house and you need to do whatever it takes to get it, listen, Tyrone Hinton, Scotty Barnes, and myself, every other Tuesday up at Tarboro Road Center. Hold on, I have my notes. We do free mentoring for kids. Okay, we call it Teen Talk Tuesday. Okay, the next one is what's the date? Day what?
The day Monday's
Day
tomorrow.
No, this next week.
Oh,
Yeah,
next week. Okay.
Yeah, it's next week.
Okay.
So next week at Tarboro Road Teen Center from 6 to 8 o'clock, we do Teen Talk Tuesdays.
All right.
Bring your kids up there. It's free, y'all. Okay, let's take that extra step. You know what I mean? We got to ensure that our kids win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to put them in positions to win and not in line to lose, y'all.
Absolutely.
You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We got to do that extra piece, okay? That extra piece to get them in the right things. Yo, right now, these phones, this TikTok, this, I mean, all
Everything.
this stuff, yo, it's crazy, man.
Facebook.
And that's their leader. That's their influence.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So we have to show them a better way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Show them some positivity. Okay, let's figure out they might not want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to bring them to us, and that's okay. Bring them to us so we can figure out what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So we can get a plan together to make sure they succeed. If you don't bring them to us, find somebody.
I was just getting ready to say,
find somebody, please.
We have a free mentoring program at my church. We actually do it separately. We have a boys mentoring and we have a girls mentoring. I am one of the mentors. I am actually over that program at the church, at my church, Juniper Level. It's absolutely free. We actually are giving both sides, the spiritual side, learning how to build that relationship with God, but also learning how to grow up and instill and actually develop and learn your purpose. Teaching them at an early age, you know what I'm saying? Learning about identity, because our children don't know who they are. Because the simple fact of this world, they're trying to keep up with they're looking at it, oh, I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid of really being who they are, who they really are.
What does the word say? Do not conform
To this world. That's right. So we have a free mentor. We meet every third Saturday from 11 to 1 at the church. If anyone is in, we're in the Garner area, but if you need it, it's 9104 Sauls Road. If anybody's interested, we have girls and boys. If you're interested, the girls start at age 8. We're starting young. We
taking them all.
Yeah.
It's 18 off to the
age 8 to 18.
Right.
The boys are, I think, 10 to 18. But hey, there's so many different programs out here. You know what I'm saying? It's no competition.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Because we all have different gifts. We all have something to offer. You know what I'm saying? So, get your kids. There's programs. We have a program, Tim, that I think y'all will be interested in coming down on, and it's every Saturday from 4 to 7. It's called JCPC at my church. And it's a program for at-risk kids and things of that nature. They have I haven't attended yet, but I've heard so many great things about it. I heard the kids talking about it. So there's a lot of things. We have a free mentoring program at my church, Monday through Thursday. Free summer program. You can't find things like this for free. This is free, and this is actually geared and operated or funded by Wake County.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
So there's opportunities out here. If you're looking, if your child needs help, there's places out here. I'm not trying to sell my church. Tim not trying to sell his program, because there's other programs. Our programs might not be right for your children. You know what I'm saying? Just get somewhere. Something. Something. If our programs are not a fit, talk to us. We can research. We probably got another program, but let's get these kids some help. Because the way this world is set up now, if we don't help our children and get them to where they need to be, they're going to fail. This world is going to fail them.
That's fact.
It's already failing them. It's already failing them.
And with that being said, too, we mentor women and men as well. Okay, men out there, it's time for us to take our stance back, man. It's time for us to get back in the forefront.
And you don't have to be in the home.
And you don't. You don't.
Let's say you don't have to be in the home. But be present.
Be present. Stop spinning bread for the presents and be present.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So listen, with that being said, Tyrone Hinton, Scotty Barnes, and myself, Scotty's got Catch the Kite, and Ty and I have Team Truth 919. We've come together, to see that, we do things better together. You know what I mean? And it's not just us. We ain't doing this for no clout. I've been popular since kindergarten, so I ain't worried about that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's about helping. You know what I mean? So I think it's in May, and I'll start posting this stuff soon. We're doing this thing called Manversations, okay? Manversations. And you see how you women have, women's empowerment? We're trying to bring that together for for North Carolina, for the men. You know what I'm saying? Men coming together and talking, building, how we gonna be better for ourselves, for our women, for our kids. How can we build businesses together for ourselves, for our women, for our kids? It's us coming together. We leaving that crabs in the barrel mess in wherever it came from. You know what I mean? And trying to move forward. So you women, once we get this stuff posted, y'all be in them boys' tails about doing stuff. Your man, your child, make sure you be in their tail and get them to this conversation. All right?
And also, with that being said, in August, prayerfully and hopefully, we're gonna do a collaboration of a conference. Something I don't think I've seen in Raleigh yet, but we're gonna have, it's gonna be a collaboration. We have our women's conferences, had a women's conference this past year, and it was awesome. But God has laid it on my heart to do a collaboration and have a men and women's conference where we get together and we have these hard conversations with each other. No conflict, but we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk about and how we can help each other, how us women these men can teach us how to treat them and how to, encourage them and build y'all up.
Facts.
And we can do the same thing for you all.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
and that's what it's about.
And stop tearing each other down, coming together, and then learning how to fulfill and walk in your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because we all have a purpose. So prayerfully and hopefully in August, we'll be coming together to have these conversations. Just, because women, we can learn a lot from the men, and men, y'all can learn a lot from us. We just got to sit down and be able to listen.
That's the blueprint. What the hell are we doing?
Right. Because guess what? Guess what? And I'm not racist or nothing, but our Caucasian people do it all the time.
Come on.
So
That's a whole other show. Jesus Christ.
But anyway, thank you. Thank you all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all.
All right. Have a good night.